All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Xposure Runs the Podcast. I'm your host, Mustafa. Today's guests are among the top of the high school basketball content creators in the state of Illinois. YB, I'm told that you are the godfather of the basketball content creation.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Oh, okay.
That's what they say. Currently has just over 26,000 followers. Hoop Vibez currently has 17.1 thousand followers. They have filmed damn near every top Illinois high school hooper, have filmed some of the nation's top high school hoopers. We wanted to start off our flower giving to the content creators of the basketball circle. It is Bo and I felt that it was a must that if we were going to do this, that we had to start with the both of you guys, since the content that you both put out, just everything that you guys have been and continue to contribute to the high school basketball circle. Illinois basketball is such a unique circle of people. Like, whether you like somebody or not, like when you're in that circle, like you're a part of that. You're a part of that. So I felt like it was a must to have you both up here to start the flower giving to the content creators. So I want to welcome Young Ballerz TV and Hoop Vibez to the show.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys being here. Right off the bat, we're just going to jump right into it. We'll start with you, Hoop Vibez. When did you start your platform?
2018.
2018?
Yeah.
And what about you, YB?
Pretty much 2016, the beginning. Ended 2015. It's really 2016.
And did you guys know each other prior to starting your platforms?
No.
Nope.
How did y'all link up? How did y'all meet?
Technically through 40K Production. Shout out 40K.
Shout out 40K. Shout out 40K.
We was colleagues before that, but 40K, he round them up, man.
Right. Shout out to 40K. What made you guys start? Why did you start Young Ballerz?
I just wanted to do something to express myself. It's a backstory involved, but overall, I just saw the opportunity. It wasn't even nobody doing it for real when I was doing it. So when I jumped into it, I just did it regularly, and it just started picking up.
How about you?
Yeah, I always been into basketball and sports, so I was gonna go to school for sports management, but that tuition be high. So
Yeah.
I ain't taking out no loan, so I'd rather build from the ground up, get some experience, and try to build a resume, and then that's how I kind of started.
When you guys started doing your videos, somebody just today, when I told them I was interviewing you today, they sent me 2 videos from about 10 years ago when you used to do small fry, if you will, with Bryce and Makai and all them guys. When you first started doing your videos, what editing software did you use, and did you have a particular style of doing your videos?
Just particular style. Just try to keep the action rolling as much as possible, and then editing Final Cut Pro.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I've been using.
That's what you still use to this day?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I was using Premiere Pro.
Okay.
And I kind of people was kind of doing music, but I feel like I overdid the music. Like, a lot of people wasn't doing music behind the highlights like that.
And so you felt like when you started doing it, that's when it started picking up?
Yeah, it became consistent. Some people do it every nowadays, but I started doing every video like that.
When you guys are doing when you're out at games, are you, what is the thought process? Are you just trying to find a dope highlight as you're recording? Or are you looking for something specific as you're recording? What's the frame of mind, or does it depend on the team and the player you're shooting that your creation comes to you in that moment?
Well, for me, usually it's a player or a team or a matchup that I'm doing. Try to get a good recap, or somebody want to buy tape on the back end, that's available too, for the players that perform well. So it's usually a mix of that for me.
How about you?
Yeah, it's I just get creative as it's happening. If I might not have came to film this kid, but if I see him killing, I'm all right, let me get some extra footage.
So I was going to ask you that. Does that happen a lot, where you might go specifically to go film, let's just, the top of my head, I'm thinking you go film BJ, but you see somebody from Lincoln Way, Carson or somebody getting off. Does that happen a lot?
Yeah.
And in those situations, does the kid usually reach out to you, or do you reach out to them and say, "Hey, I got some good footage of you"? You know what I'm saying? And
I mean,
y'all work out your business.
It's both, but I mean, I'm thirsty, so I'm gonna reach out. But they reach out.
Yeah, it kind of work both ways because sometimes they probably don't even know you there. Like if we filming from the crowd, they probably didn't even see you, so they don't even know that you was even there.
So you'll reach out and be like, "Yo, I got some content on you."
Post on the internet and know I was there.
Okay. To give them a little tease.
Yeah, sometimes the live streams will do that too. They didn't know I was there. That's like the evidence I left behind.
The little crumb you left.
Yeah.
Like I was there, shorty. I saw you.
Yep.
I probably got that dunk. Mm-hmm. Who has been some of your favorite players that you've shot content for over the years? And why be specifically you? Like I know you've shot a lot of players. So who has been some of your favorite?
Chase Adams, man. Chase the King, man. In my book, Chase lifted me up early in the game and really helped me become that. Help me build the brand, you know, and spread the love and spread it out.
Shout out to Chase. Shout out to Chase. We saw him over the winter. We're gonna try to get him up here. What about you?
Chase, my guy, but I was like writing when I first got up. With Chase. Like I was doing like scouting work, so he gave me my first like interview. Like I did a whole. So
Chase kind of uplifted both of y'all at different points.
Yeah, he humble and he really,
that's what's up. Yeah, he is. He definitely
respectful. But like playing wise, I kind of started like when Nick and them was at Morgan Park. So like Adam and them. So they always like kept the games hype. Got you.
Has there been any player? I know the answer for you is going to be yes, YB. But which player rather do you feel your videos like boosted them? Like so, you kind of recorded them. They was all right, but the videos kind of made them like a household name. Can you think of anybody around the time? I'm sure there's a lot, but anybody come to mind?
Who? Tristan Jazz? No, I ain't gonna say that. There ain't nobody know who Tristan was. Shout out Tristan. There ain't nobody know who you was when I did that tape, and Drake locked in with you after that, man.
Damn, that's what's up.
But I ain't gonna take the credit for it because he was killing, man. So I ain't,
but your video probably accentuated his profile.
Yeah, it could have helped for sure.
What about you?
Oh no, I can't really say who.
Who you was gonna say for me?
No, I'm not. I wasn't gonna say nobody.
I thought you had somebody in mind.
No. Okay. I'm just saying like just your as many years as you've been doing it. I'm sure there's hundreds of players that you could probably name that before them. That I felt like, you could name anybody damn near, especially any of these kids that's get ready to graduate. When they were coming up, a few years ago, when Zay was Zay is a 23, so some of them were like, 2 years behind Zay. Some of these guys that's kind of, buzzing now. Like I felt like some of your videos that you may have gotten early on in their what y'all call a grammar school, their middle school days, probably help highlight them a lot. So I'm sure you can pick from a plethora of players over the years. Like, I didn't have nobody in particular. Who's the most famous player that either one of you have shot for?
Most famous? I got a couple. Like, I filmed Amari Burnett, Jalen Green, Draymond Green.
Okay.
A lot of NBA draft people. Like, I did the draft combine for some agency, so I did a lot of those people.
What about you, man?
Mine was probably at the All-American game a few years ago when Colin Sexton and Trae Young and Michael Porter Jr. A lot of them was there that year.
Has any of them ever reached out to y'all to do additional content for them?
No. Them people. They're not big.
They got people.
They got their people. Yeah. I met a kid. I believe it was over the summer at the Denarbros runs. What school is that? Down at Hope. And he lives in England. At least that's where he said he was from, or like traveling to. And he does a lot. He said he does a lot of NBA work for people. And he named off a couple of NBA players that he was working with. Some of the high school players now, or not even now, but some of the high school players that you guys have shot that went on to stardom. Do you remember some of them that, you felt they were going to be superstars and they ended up becoming superstars in their own right?
Who about them? Let's see. I would say Taylor.
Yeah.
Man, when Taylor was in that picture with George Condon and Tyrese Halliburton at Iowa State, right? Is it Iowa?
Iowa State.
I never thought that. I ain't think Halliburton was who he was like that when
I heard that a lot. I heard that a lot about Halliburton because he wasn't really highly recruited, and the guy actually wanted it. It's funny that you mentioned that. One of our sponsors, the guy from SVI that does the uniforms, he knows his folks, and he was telling me a few weeks back that Halliburton was kind of like real low on the radar when he was coming up, and he just exploded on the scene. So, how about you? And what high school players did you shoot that went on to become like they something right now?
From Illinois or just in general?
Just in general.
I mean, like Jalen Green and. You know, I went to Champaign for that.
Okay.
So I got, it was worth it. So he kind of living up to the hype right now. So
we got to throw Io in there.
I wasn't filming with Io no stuff.
Oh.
That's when I was writing. So when they were seniors, I was writing. And then when they graduated, I started filming.
You started filming.
Yeah.
Got you.
So Adam and I was like my first
group of people that y'all started.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
DJ Stewart and them.
Right.
Oh yeah, shout out to DJ and Adam. When y'all not filming games, editing content, traveling, like what y'all like to do? What's downtime? What downtime look like for y'all?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, heavy fan dual usage for sure.
Really?
Yeah, we some, what they call is degenerates, man. Just can't stay away from the parlays, trying to single bet.
Yeah, parlays.
Y'all on there heavy?
Yeah. I took some time away recently because the NBA gets so janky. It's like you get so frustrated.
You be right there.
You gotta step away sometimes, man.
What's the most y'all ever won off of there?
I'm a petty gambler. I don't trust them people, so I probably won like $100-something, $200, but it probably was like all 5 or 10 for like $100 or something.
Okay,
so I don't trust them people with my money like that. It's just it's like an addictive thing. Like even if you don't win a lot of money, you just want to say you won, kind of like.
So it's more about the winning.
Yeah, it's more about the winning. I love to hit for 10,000 something like that, but I don't trust them people to put my money up.
Yeah, to put it up to get the 10,000. Right. What about you?
I done hit big money and lost even bigger. So
really?
It's like whatever. I can't even enjoy the big wins because it's like
because you've lost equally.
I'm in the hole. No, not equally, more.
Oh
so
wow!
It's like shit.
See, I can't do it. Like I've been on FanDuel. I most recently downloaded the ESPN betting joint, and what's the DraftKings. I've done DraftKings. Now the problem that I have is I'm like you. I don't trust the people. Like I'm usually like a no more than a $20 better.
Yeah,
like I'll do a bunch of $5 bets to get to 20, or every now and then I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna just do a 20 just for one. I can never find the parlays. Like I don't know how to work the apps too well. I'm just not a good gambler, and I don't really know. I don't understand the plus minus thing. I don't get the whole point spread. I don't get none of that shit. So I try to do the parlays that are like straight to the point. Who's gonna have 20 points? Who's gonna win? Just win the game. I don't do
just outright.
Yeah, just outright. I'm not really good at that plus minus shit.
Well,
I don't get it.
It's all about trust, man. Like you say, you don't trust, but it's like that's the whole thing about it. You got to figure out who you trust and roll with them. It don't matter because everybody might be throwing out something that you should do, but you should ask yourself, like, do you trust them? Like that's how I do. I got and it kind of created a little relationship between the bettor and the player.
Okay,
where it's like, man, some people, I know you heard of the do not bet list. Everybody got their own personal list of who they not rocking with no more.
Who's on yours?
I don't really got no do not. I understand because the NBA is just like these kids to me. Like they all have ups and downs. So if I'm gonna play ball with them, I gotta accept they might not perform tonight, and I can't get all mad at them. Getting ready, like some of these people go in their DMs and can say, "Wow, I can't take it personal." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the players be saying that. The people be DM even at the game. They be like, put them back in the game. I got 20,000 on this. Yeah, that'd be too much.
That was just like the other night. Who was it? The coach's son.
I saw that.
They all the books had him to get 1 point. All he had to do is just go make an attempt. He dribbled
the ball out. Which comes son for UConn.
That type of stuff made me feel like they scamming. Because everybody definitely score one, but his dad in his ear telling him don't do it.
So I'm sure that they see that shit. They see them books. I'm sure that they see them books. Like, when you go in there, don't score that point because they got you scoring 1 point. Yeah. I'm sure that type of shit happened. What has been one of the best high school games that either one of you has seen personally?
Can we say with that Fears at DePaul Prep? Who was they playing at? Last year.
That was last year.
Yeah, well, that was a good game.
I mean, I said Cam Chris. Is that
Joliet West versus Rolling Meadows last year?
Yeah, that was straight. I wouldn't say that was the best though.
Yeah.
It was like the best, like as far as like just skill wise and like the game ran the right way, but it wasn't no crowd there.
Right.
The crowd was at Hyde Park that same day, so
yeah, one of them CPS.
I'd say probably Simeon and Morgan Park.
Right, one of them classic rivalry games. Battle of Vincennes, one of them.
Okay. When you guys are out again, when you are at these games, and have you ever been filming and like just really been into the game that you are kind of forgetting that you're there to film?
I don't, because I'm looking at the game through the small window. It's
Got
not
you,
like
got
I'm
you.
sitting back enjoying the game with my eyes like everybody else.
Got you.
I'm always reminded I'm working.
Got you. What about you?
Yeah, I'm always locked in. It be people that probably next to me that I know that be forgetting on film. Somebody might dunk and I'm just focused on the shot. They'll tap my arm like, you see that?
Yeah,
and they knock my camera over. I was like,
Yeah, we fully trained to not even react to. I mean, I do my fair share of reacting, but I pick and choose. Like I got it set up where sometimes I have a delayed reaction too. Like I ain't finna have my voice all the time, all over all the highlights. So I'll wait until a few seconds after the clip to let the play complete, then start screaming.
And start
losing
getting
my mind. Yeah.
I've been on a couple of your lives where you've been at games where I know everybody has wanted to see, and you do a good job of doing that. Like either the delayed reaction or like just kind of waiting for people to kind of comment and stuff like that. So I definitely like that. Now this next question, I actually saw your post where you were talking about from this past weekend of some of the AAU stuff. But what's one of the worst high school games that you guys can remember seeing?
It's too many of them to say. Like Jimmy Soto's, I'll share this post today. He could, because it's new to him. He went, he played for Ohio State. You know, he went to what's the name of that school? Conant. And he was like a all-state player, high level. But he came and he was in there last weekend watching it, and he just couldn't believe it. He was like, he called
was bad.
He called it helter skelter. I was like, man, that's my word right there, man. It's called helter skelter, right? He actually used that and honestly felt that way about it. Like, man.
At some of these games, are you guys? I'm gonna see if you're willing to do this. Are you willing to mention a player where you were kind of hyped to go see and they like shit the bed? Like
that's what I was finna reverse your question. Like you said, it's too many like bad games to just say like, because we didn't film freshmen, 7th graders.
Right.
But I like put the pressure and like mention some of these good teams that didn't perform. Like I went that Balloon versus Hillcrest game this year was not good. The first one like around the Chicago Heights.
Yes, I think that game. Okay, no, I wasn't at that one. I wasn't at that.
Yeah, that game was kind of bad. It was like bad for that level of like talent and team. I put them out.
Yeah, it's hard, man. We just need a shot clock. It's like
I swear that's one of my questions.
Yeah, because it's like it's not decision based. Like when it comes down to it, that clock. Even though a lot of teams won't really hold the ball too bad, but overall the clock is going to encourage you to make that decision every time down. And our kids is due to that, we not shot clock kids, so it's like we not used to even playing a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 game. So when that start happening, a lot of our kids be freezing up. They not ready for that. But I feel like with the shot clock, that's forcing you to, you know what I'm saying, do something.
With the shot clock, do you feel that the shot clock will also add some additional level of coaching? I feel like some of the coaching in high school basketball, whether it's Chicago, outside of Chicago, and pretty much damn near in every state, even in Philadelphia, the high school coaching, I don't feel is really that great, where coaches are not taking the profession, if you will, seriously. They don't go to clinics. They're not getting better. And then they're putting the onus on the kids to get better, but they have really nothing to teach them. Do you feel like a shot clock will enhance a coaching's abilities?
Some of them going to crumble off that. You know, it's going to be the rise or fall. Yeah. Some of these coaches don't even belong in these positions. It's just nobody else to take it on.
Do it.
It ain't enough money. It ain't like, what if we was like all coaches get what? They get all $40,000 a year. to coach high school basketball. Well, they gonna be lined up to coach. It's gonna be competitive. But how much they get paid per season? $5,000,
if that.
Right. So they
and
got
a stipend into two.
So if I'm a coach realistic, I got my own situation, own family, this, that, and the third. I ain't thinking about no clinics and like you gotta really be like a philanthropist, caring for the community and and that's tough to do in Chicago.
That's a great point. That's a great
tough
point.
to do out here because the city will chew you up and spit you out and just use you up until you ain't no more you left and stuff. So it's like you gotta weigh that out, kind of.
So with that same thought process, how has someone like a Rob Smith, someone like a Lou Adams, someone like a Mike Oliver, we just had Coach Wolf up here, how have they lasted all these years and they not getting paid? And
I mean, well, let's see. Let's break down everybody you said. Rob Smith, he had the legendary thing and with the Nike and all of that stuff. Lou Adams, they had the classic shot in the dark. He won all of those things. He landed all those rings, then he landed that good spot at Rich with a great facility and a good future. And who else would we say?
Coach Wolf with Wolf and Oliver as well.
Wolf, man, that whole West Side thing, man, it's tough out west for Wolf. And it ain't just been sweet for Wolf since Kevin Garnett. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like every time I see Wolf and what's the coach name? Ewell. It's like it's always a struggle with them. Like they always dealing with the kids. It's like knucklehead kids don't listen. I gotta yell and they ain't used. So it's like they struggle. It ain't sweet. It's like I get Wolf and Ewell the philanthropy card, the out west philanthropist card. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't really get nothing, and they putting their heart and soul into that. You know what I'm saying? And they not winning like that. So it's like they just doing it straight for the community.
Off the muscle. And Wolf just retired too. He just retired. He just retired. And then Mike Oliver, probably the same thing.
And Mike Oliver kind of just, man, Mike. How I could describe Mike Oliver is like. He an accountability guy. He had the wave with Cliff Alexander. Yeah, he had his previous pros. He got Mike Oliver be having them kids under mind control, like when he say jump, the whole Curie, all of them be lined up like how high, like he be in them kids' heads.
That's interesting. I won't go too much into that, but that's very interesting. A very interesting comment you said as far as the mind control.
That I'm thinking about it.
He be having them kids ready, and none of the kids. I know this might sound weird for me to even say this, but like none of the Curie kids when they lost City cried. When I look, when these kids lose, kids lose, I look at. I'm sorry, super sectional.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Oh, okay, because they didn't cry. Well, they won City.
Yeah, they won City. My bad. Yeah. Super sectional. All the boys was hard body. I looked them all in the face because the average kids, at least one or two of them gonna pull that jersey over and cry. Ain't none of them cry. They took that on the chin, and that was a heartbreaking loss.
When I'm seeing with a lot of kids in losses is they're not so much pulling the jersey over to cry, they snatching the jersey off on some like I don't want this shit type of deal.
That's just that NBA trying to see him. The players do that. LeBron took his off and stuff. So
Momentum anger.
Yeah, like that's just like pull this shit up. I'm fed up.
That shit is annoying. I don't like seeing that type of shit, man. Like that shit to me is like. Was you even all the way invested in what we were doing to begin with? So soon as some adversity come, whether it's a loss, and obviously for the seniors, it might be their last game at a particular loss, but ripping your jersey off and like acting like you wasn't a part of. I ain't lose. Them niggas lost. That's the vibe I get.
So did you get that vibe when LeBron did that when he lost in Cleveland? When he took his off and walked off that last
game?
Game? Okay.
I did. It was almost that vibe like, man, I ain't lose. Them niggas lost. Yeah, but I definitely get that vibe from a lot of the kids.
That's a good question to probably ask the kid, like what be going through their head. Because me, like, I don't really like hold the kids too much accountable on, because it's like it's a heat of the moment thing. You just mad, and it's like that's don't define a character for real.
Okay, okay, that's fair.
They still young. They get upset about little things,
But LeBron was a grown man.
I can't. I don't know what LeBron did.
That's different from LeBron.
Did he go to? Did he leave right after that?
That was when he left the first.
He like,
So
man,
nobody did.
That's when he went to Miami. Yeah. So they lost to Boston, right?
Oh, was it?
Was it Boston?
No, it was.
I thought it was Boston.
That wasn't.
It's about.
It wasn't a finals.
It wasn't
finals. It was playoffs though, right?
It was a playoffs, but I think
They
it was.
was-
Cleveland, he kept losing to Boston. So he was losing.
Yeah, because he
to
lost.
Boston.
He lost to Boston and then went to Miami after it. So it might have been. It might have been. Did either one of you guys play high school basketball?
I did.
Where you play at?
Eisenhower.
Did you really?
And Rich. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. What about you?
I played a little bit at Leo.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Like y'all know, I'm not from here, so I'm like,
say what?
I'm not from Illinois, so I wasn't around when you guys were in high school. What year you graduated?
02.
Yeah. What year you graduated?
It's 2010.
You graduated in 02?
I'm an OG in this shit.
Yeah. Damn.
2010.
But I'm a little older. Actually, I'm a lot older than you.
Yeah.
You graduated when? 2010? So I came to Illinois 2 years after that, and I came to Illinois 10 years after that. So, like,
I
what
was
was your...
Dockery and all of them was.
Oh, okay. What was your careers like? Like, talk about your careers.
Oh man, mine was. My brother was always the hooper. I was
Okay.
like the thinker. That's why
Okay,
I'm locked
okay.
in with these cameras, and my feet was kind of too slow, like to really get it in a fast paced.
Got you. What about you?
I kind of flopped my career because I went to a school that like can legally recruit and stuff.
Right.
I'm sure they recruit all these tall people, but basically like back then when you get invited to play summer league, that's kind of like saying like, okay, you decent, we might think about keep you next year. So they invited me to play summer league. So the next when season started, I ain't try out, because everybody else that was on summer league want to try it out. So I'm like, I ain't tried either. So I came to practice.
They was like, nah.
It's over with. They brought in all these freshmen and these ranked freshmen and stuff. Dang, I would have came if I knew. But that was me thinking I had it figured out. And I ain't really care that much to do all that training.
To go through all that. Yeah. So for both of y'all individual platforms, and I know from a standpoint of timing as far as y'all high school careers, how much do you think your platforms would have been received and would have helped players like you guys and even players back then if y'all platforms were around back then?
I think it would have been big. It would have just it wasn't no internet for me, so it's like you would have had to do like Master P with the tapes in the trunk, like
right.
which could have been possible.
Yeah.
But
the big cameras. On the show.
I'd have probably be the original. Who was the first Ballerz? Like I'd have been before them doing that. You know what I'm saying?
What about you?
I probably would have been so big that I probably wouldn't even be right here right now. Because like I started out like even when I was in high school, like I had my phone and I like film them in a layup line.
Got you.
And I like post it on Facebook, and they used to be looking for them little clips like you got some of the videos for the layup line, like dunking and all that. And I like post it and everybody be like commenting or something. But I never went past like that though. But if I would have stayed locked in, and it's 2010, so like you said, it wasn't a lot of people out there doing it.
How do you guys price point your videos when players are reaching out to you guys?
Beforehand or like after?
Like now, like even like right now, like when a player
Depends
reaches
on how far it is, how many games, stuff like
that. Got you. So the parents or the players will reach out and ask y'all to do a specific game or a number of games, and you price point based off of that.
Yeah,
fair enough. Describe your thoughts and feelings on the current state of high school basketball in Illinois.
I mean, it's up and down. Just like this past weekend when we was at the recruit looks. Important thing to pay attention with that past weekend. How it was a lot of low level basketball, but at the same time it was a lot of basketball from all over. Everywhere else too, so it wasn't just like all the low level basketball with Chicago.
Right, it was bad all the way.
Yeah,
for everybody.
Yep. So I feel like all the cities got their ups and downs.
Got you. So it's not just Illinois. What about you?
I feel like the potential there, but like the leaders and those that's in charge ain't doing enough to advance it. Like as far as like the shot clock, as far as the rules, like suburban schools not being able to transfer like that, then having all these transfer rules But that's why kids leaving. It's like they can go to another state, get NIL money, legally, they go get, you know, better training with prep schools, and prep schools out here, they can't even play out Chicago.
Yeah, and it's
So
only
it's
two. It's only two,
Yeah.
one male, one female prep school in Illinois, and unless they doing some, you know, showcases, they won't let them play them.
Yep.
So there's a lot of rules that's kind of like hindering that. But the 27, 28 class, they looking real good and hopeful for us. So as long as they stick around and not feel like this ain't enough for them
to stick around.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Anybody that really emerges is gonna get up out of here, rightfully so, like they should.
Right,
you know?
right. You spoke about something that we kind of speak about pretty frequently when we have guests up here. And for me as an outsider, it's easy for me to call out. Do you think there's a lot of gatekeeping with some of the elder statesmen? Like, you know, they are keeping the progression as it relates to, you know, high school basketball and the era that we are living in social media. Do you feel like that they in the way?
Yeah, there's a lot of gatekeeping going on, and there's a lot of people in charge who don't really know about sports. Like, only thing they know about is like Illinois, and like this has been ran, this has going to continue to run. They not going to clinics or meeting with people like outside of Illinois either to see how they could become, you know, make it better.
Yeah, like traditionalists.
Right.
Like that's
Right.
that's
a
how
great
things
word.
been.
That's a great word.
Yeah, that's how they intend on
Keeping it for as long as they've been in, for as long as they're there.
Yeah, but people, but technology and this whole new wave, people got to adjust. You know, a lot of people be having a hard time accepting that things have changed. You know.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. We already talked about the shot clock. Both of you guys feel like Illinois definitely needs a shot clock. I hope that is coming. I know they've had more than enough meetings. I don't know what they keep having meetings about the shot clock, is either implement the shit or not. Like, and a lot of the holiday tournaments are now having shot clocks, and it's been successful. And so I feel like
They too cheap.
Because that's what I was about to say. They too cheap because you gotta. It's like cost. It's like a total amount of high schools. Then total amount of what girls and boys varsity games time, the total amount of initial installations for these shot clocks. Then you got to multiply the total amount of shot clock runners per game.
and they have a hard enough time getting people to score the games.
Yeah, so now you got to have a person on the clock. But other states do it. But you know, I guess we just
outside of like IHSA, CPS is like one of the biggest public school like networks in the country. So that's a lot of schools, like not
That's a
even
lot.
including the suburbs.
Right.
So it's like, do you want to? I ain't trying to name drop no trash school. But
Right,
you
right.
want to put a shot clock in?
That trash school, yeah.
Because these schools are here come get on our ass. Whoever we say.
No. I feel you. And in some cases, you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
that's just really the bottom line. Do you believe that the suburbs should have the city playoff atmosphere like the city schools do?
How are you going to determine what a suburb is, in the sense that, like, let's use the example of, let's use Rich and then going south to what, like Kankakee, and then going to, what's the school? Beecher. Is that the school that?
Yeah, that was undefeated.
Yeah.
So let's use Beecher. Are you gonna call Beecher a suburb? Like, where do you draw the line with this suburb versus a town?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
I mean, if you go to Google and type, I already look like if you look up the South suburbs, it's going, you know, it stopped like what, I forget, but it ain't, Beecher ain't in the South suburbs.
No, that's a whole other county and everything.
Right, so they got to have their own thing then.
Yeah, so it's like, I think it got to be Cook County can be considered South suburb, probably.
Okay.
And
There's a lot of schools in that and under that umbrella.
Yeah, but then it's like, how far west do you go into the Bolingbrook, Romeoville, Lamont type area? It's like, and do you keep going west all the way to the west suburbs and all the way north to Schaumburg?
That's a lot to think about. And it sounds like an easy thing to do. Like, let's just do a suburb. I never thought about that. I've asked people that question without even having that thought process of how far do you go, who do you include, who do you exclude.
I think they should do it, but it should be like based on a who want to do it type of thing, because it's really they in the same position. Like they leaders be gatekeeping, and they be trying to protect they district and they money. So it's like,
Yep.
who the money go to?
Oh, you
Because
saying
imagine, because there's so many different. Like CPS is one.
It's one
person.
entity. Yeah.
but you got-
CPS.
Yeah,
Right. You
got
just got to
different
break down the
ones.
schools into divisions and classics. And I just heard today that they about to do some realignment. There.
Yeah.
I literally just heard that.
But
today.
it still be under the CPS.
Yeah, but it'll still be under the CPS,
but,
right?
you know-
But with the damn, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I feel like they should
that.
just come together. All of
They got to make a committee. And
yeah, they got to come up with a committee. Like, or maybe they should just regroup the whole. Regroup one of the conferences out there and just do a
Right, because a lot of the
playoffs.
conferences in the South Suburbs, like you know, obviously the conference that, and I'm only using them as an example because Xavier went there. When you think about all the schools that's in Oak Lawn's conference, the South Suburban blue or red, and then you got the other schools that's in whoever's not in the blue that's in the red. Then you got what conferences? Which township in? Are they in that?
They in with Thornton and Kankakee.
Under that conference, right? And then you got Crete, and you got obviously HF, and you got schools like, for instance, when Xavier was at Marist, you know, a lot of the whatever was like, well, Marist is a city school, but they in the Catholic League, but they don't play in the city Catholic League. They got their own suburban Catholic League. It's a lot to consider for that shit. So you're right. Lemont is one of the schools that's in the same conference with Hillcrest and all them. So I definitely never even thought about it that way. What player do you guys feel like, you know, coming up right now? You talked about the 26s and the 27s, you said. Who do you feel like is next up? Like, oh, y'all are interested to seeing that's coming up going into the next high school year that's going to be a senior, and then kind of junior, sophomore, freshman. Who's next up?
Who coming?
For which grade? Any grade?
Any grade. So who's the next going into next year? So a junior that'll be a senior, sophomore that's going to be a junior, a freshman that's going to be a sophomore, and an incoming freshman.
Who's a junior that's going to be a senior? Bryce Hurd and
Bryce Hurd, Alex, Phoenix Gill.
Yeah.
Phoenix. Oh yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
Phoenix. And his dad is letting him
JD,
play
JD, I'm interested in seeing
JD from Homewood.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
my
for
guy.
sure.
Okay.
JD gonna average at least 7 rebounds next year.
Okay.
He said,
He gonna have to. Him and Bryce Hurd gonna have to rebound that ball unless they grab a big.
And not turn the ball over neither.
And I turned out good.
Ooh, okay.
I actually want to get JD up here. I like the kid. I like him a lot. And we did a lot of videos during their state run, and you know, even at some of their games. And I like JD. I think he's a really good player, and his potential is through the roof. It just seemed that every clutch moment of a game, he had really bad turnovers. Like in some of their biggest games that could have almost cost them their games. And he rebounded well in terms of, you know, the plays after that he had. He did well, but I'd like to see how. And I hear he crushing right now in the AAU for the first 2 weeks of AAU. I hear he's doing a really good job. So I'm interested to see how he's going to come into next year, and because he's going to be one of the leaders of that. Actually, probably to be the leader of that team. Him and Bryce, him and Bryce for sure. So I'm interested to see how that's going to look. And obviously, I'm sure Jameer has something up his sleeve as far as bringing somebody in there that's going to, you know, help them. Because I mean, after JD and Bryce, who they got over there?
Miles Ellis, the junior. He a sophomore, finna be a junior. And then they just got
Yes, we were just asking them about this like last weekend. Like, who next? Who's stepping up?
What about who's from a sophomore that's going to be a junior? Who y'all think is going to be?
Junior, that's
That's Keeson, Marquise Clark.
Nas Rankin, he gonna be over there at Morgan Park. He gonna average.
Oh yeah, Noah.
He gonna average a lot at Morgan Park. Yep. Ray John.
Oh, John. Yeah, for sure.
Lincoln too, like, you know. With,
Lincoln got a KD.
So I want to see what Lincoln.
You think Lincoln gonna stay?
I don't know. You know,
I don't think he's gonna stay, bro. Word is Kankakee don't do a really good job of getting their kids like
promoted.
Looks. Yeah.
Word.
I think it's an issue for a lot of those schools.
Didn't AJ Store go to Kankakee a few years ago, right?
Did he?
Who?
The AJ
I
Store?
think he's from Rockford, but I don't know if he went to.
I don't know if he went to Kankakee.
Okay.
I think they be pumping him in South Suburban group, so I'm assuming he went to some
They do,
school
but
out
I mean,
there.
they just had what's his face? We had up here. What was the guard name? from Kankakee that we had up
Lorenz.
here. Lorenz.
Lorenz. So,
He should be somewhere. I don't even think he got
I'm
nothing.
gonna get started. And that probably was my first time seeing him. I'm like, yeah, this kid.
He decent.
Yeah.
Actually, he's
He
better than
almost took
decent.
him down. He
Yeah,
almost-
single-handedly.
Yeah, back-to-back plays. Like, he almost took him down. I was just a little nervous for him.
What you got?
AJ Store definitely he transferred from Rockford to Kankakee sophomore year.
Okay.
So yeah,
But he already had a buzz when he transferred, though.
I ain't know about him. Man, Kankakee, they ain't tell me about him that
A
he
lot
was
of
there,
those
man.
schools be struggling promoting their kids, though.
So which brings me to my next question. Do you think it's the coach's responsibility or the parent responsibility when it comes to recruiting?
When it comes to recruiting,
Getting the players out there for recruiting.
I feel like it go hand in hand. The coaches is responsible to get the offers and stuff like that and to network with the coaches. I feel like the parent is responsible for the upbringing of the kid, making sure they grades right, making sure they respectable, honorable, and so when they meet the coach, they can have be able to have that conversation. Not like, okay, he good, but he got some other stuff we can't even mess with. That's the parent's job. But as far as like recruiting strictly on the court, it should be the coaches and stuff like that.
I feel like a lot of coaches here at Illinois, that's part of the gatekeeping. They are only recruiting some of the players that can benefit something from, whether it's their name, whether it's
the college coaches or the high school.
The high school coaches. The high school coaches. I feel like there are other players, like for instance, and I don't mean.
Drop them names, man.
I want to be real careful because I don't want to.
Edit it out.
No, I'm not. No. I want to just be very careful about how I say this because I don't want it to come off like I'm dissing them. But to me, when you think about Thornton, obviously Morez got his offer before he got to Thornton. He had that Illinois offer since he was a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken, right? Mm-hmm. But when he got there, he brought more notoriety to that school, and some of them players, they had some really good players over there, right? You had Chase, you had Mayo, you had Isaiah, right? No disrespect to them individually. Maybe they're not Division I Big Ten players, but it's no way that they should not have ended their senior basketball careers with no offers and no signings. That should not have happened, in my opinion.
D1 signings, you're saying?
Just period. At this point, for the three of them, they should have had something.
Mayo just signed, didn't he?
That's my point. You saying he just
signed?
Do you think the kids be like waiting though, like looking for better?
Some of it is their fault. Absolutely, some of it is their fault. But I feel like the connections and the people that, just using Coach Streets as an example, he just the year before he had ties at Illinois. So you can't tell me Coach Streets and some of those other coaches don't have some connections with some high level, middle level, and low level coaches that them guys, it should not have been April for them to have signed. To me, it should not have been.
Did the other two sign?
The other two, Chase and Isaiah, I do not think have signed yet. We're in April. Yeah. We're a month away from their prime, 2 months away from them graduating from high school. Yeah. That, to me, with all due respect, that's just unacceptable. And I'm speaking as a parent. I would have been pissed if Xavier was there and he ended his high school career whenever that ended and he have no offers. I would have been hot.
How much is the transfer portal playing in this?
That's what I was going to say.
It plays a lot. It plays a huge role, but you can't tell me, like, all right, for Mayo, I think he just signed with a junior college. Or it might have been I don't even know the level that the college he just signed with. So don't get me the line. You can look it up while I'm talking. My point is, and to your point, it plays a huge role. Like, be clear about that. Like, we all know that Division I, II, III, NAIA, they're searching the portal first. And right now it's up to about a little over 2,100 students in the transfer portal, right? But there are other level schools that, and we know that the high school student right now they're like dinosaurs. They're almost extinct. Like, no college coach really want to kind of touch them, and not so much from a skill set level, just from a maturity. They're not ready. I could go get this player who has experience, whether that player played at the school or not. As far as college go, he got the experience of being on a college campus. Cool, I give you all that. My point is, there are other schools, and if I have the status of someone like that, I'm going to leverage that status with a lower level school. Like, bro, I'm Ty Streets. Take my kid. What you mean?
Right.
I know that these other schools are in the portal. Like, you kind of really ain't got no shot in the portal. Like, ain't no Division 1, 2, or 3 level player coming to this D1 JUCO type school. Take my player, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like those, and it's not just them. I don't just mean to pick on, quote unquote, pick on them. There's other schools like that. I mean, you could use JD as well. Let's use HF. They the 4A champs. Where's Matt going? Ain't he a senior?
He going to
Is he going to Lewis?
Lewis. Yeah.
Okay. D2 Lewis?
I
I
think
think
was
he's
it?
going to Lewis University.
I think so.
I could be wrong though.
That's what I seen, man. I had just seen that coach. I don't know if it's Lewis. I thought it was a D3, man.
Oh, okay, he go Lewis University, Romeoville, Illinois.
Yes.
Ooh, Mac went D2.
That's where Mac is going?
Stop playing
Yeah.
with him.
He posted that
boy
last year,
went
2023.
D2. Oh, so he was already there at from what's the name?
From
already?
Lincoln Way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he going to Lewis as well as the young fella from Kale. They going to
Oh,
Lewis.
that's they one too.
Stop
Mac
it.
setting that screen, rolling, Kale throwing that oop.
They probably got some seniors there, man.
Yeah, they.
You
Yeah.
got-
I have a personal problem. I have a personal problem with that.
What, Mac
No, I have a problem with Lewis. Shout out to Mac and shout out to Kale getting the opportunities. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. I have a personal problem with Lewis, and I feel like I want to get into it, but I'm not. I'm not.
As far as recruiting,
As far as recruiting.
About other availability. And what motivates you to choose the players that you choose? I don't know what.
does it ever offer
I don't
extended?
never know what college.
Not really. A visit was made. An offer was never extended. Some of the bullshit Coach Rocco gave me back. Oh, did I say his name? My bad. Some of the bullshit feedback that they gave me back as it relates to Xavier with respect to both Mac and Kale. You telling me that Xavier is not better than either one of them? Or was it just me? I don't know. I have an issue with that shit. But shout out to them both.
it could be.
It could be.
No, I was gonna say it could be the coach working this magic.
Could be.
Coaches.
I guess so. We'll never know, though.
Yeah.
We'll never know. Do you think the IHSA or Kenwood handled that particular situation that they dealt with correctly?
No.
Explain.
How you gonna do that right before the playoffs? The same day? That's crazy.
But the rumor is they gave them ample opportunity to correct whatever they sent down the pipeline of correcting. It was sent down the pipeline from what I was told.
What could you correct? I wonder. I guess we ain't supposed to get into the details. Of what needed to be corrected.
and we could, and I could be wrong, but the details that it was told to me was it was all mostly from an eligibility standpoint, the residential, like where the kids were living.
If you think about the kids who was like suspended and couldn't play, them kids been there for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So why wait till 2024 state playoffs to do it then? So how much time do they get? They give them 3 years to fix it?
Yes.
I don't think so.
No, that don't make sense.
no.
I'm not buying that either. Because why would you give them 3 years to fix it if it's a issue?
It became
After
an
the
issue.
first year,
Y'all should have been handled at the first year.
Yeah.
They should have, because they probably got on them this year. But it's like, what you want us to fix with a kid who been here for 3 years
Right,
already?
right.
Like, what
What,
could
go
we
in the
fix?
system and say that he lives somewhere else? What's the fix?
Yeah.
I don't know. Now that part I don't know. I just know that the addresses wasn't aligning. People were,
That's what it is. the
people were. What's the word? Not so much. What's
Snitching?
the word? That's the word. But what's the word? That's the word.
Dirty Mac and
Well,
all
what's the
that
word when it's company
alerting.
when it's company related? When you doing when you're doing something with the company and you kind of alerting the authorities, you are whistleblowing. People were whistleblowing. People were whistleblowing. Like from what I hear, former players were whistleblowing.
Former players.
That's what I was told. I don't know how true that is.
I heard former coaches.
I heard-
Not former
yeah, I
coaches.
heard
I heard like
Like a parent.
Other coaches.
Yeah.
and parent. I heard all.
I do agree
heard all.
that the way they waited to And the reason why, to go back to what you said as far as the entities go, that the reason why that they waited until the state playoffs is because they gave CPS ample opportunity, however long, whether it's 3 years, 3 days, 3 months, they gave CPS ample opportunity to rectify that situation with that school, and they didn't. So the governing board of high school basketball, which is the IHSA, said, okay, you guys won't do it, then fuck it, we'll do it. I feel like that's pretty much the conversation that Craig Anderson had. Like, okay, y'all won't do it, fuck it, I'll do it.
But it's like what record? I just want to know how was they to rectify that? What were they supposed to do? I would love to know what they were supposed to do.
That's a good question.
Because what could they do?
And my thing is, again, like, yes, y'all need to, you gave them time to fix it. If you want to say they gave them like 10 months or whatever. If I'm the IHSA board or the director, and somebody bring me some information that's 3 years old, I'm not bothering that. Why you want to tell me now? You been knew this kid was over there. You been knew. Why you want to tell me now?
Right.
So this is some beef or some person you got going on. I'm not finna feed into that for you.
Got you.
You know
is it because they all hate Mike Irvin?
Probably something to do with that. Of course, the governing body, the guys that's in leadership in the IHSA, they're not going to come out and say, you know what, because we don't like Mike Irvin, we're doing this. Yeah. But I'm sure there's an undertone of that.
Yeah, because Mike Irvin, a black man that be popping his shit, and
the entire Irvin family has complete. Like their grasp on Chicago basketball is well documented. Like from their dad to Nick to their sister to Mike to Lance. Like the Irvin family is synonymous. When you think of Chicago basketball, like the Irvin family goes hand in hand. Like let's be honest about that. Sure. And so the IHSA, a lot of them suits and ties up there, they probably don't like that type of shit. And so I'm sure somebody was like, yeah, we finally got something on him. Like let's run down on him.
Yeah, because the IHSA, the state of Illinois really don't rock with Chicago anyway. So and
so do you think? Oh, that's a great question. So that's a great segue to a question with: do you think some of the other coaches further south and further north had a hand in some of that? Like, yeah, y'all should go. Like, kind of put the battery in their back. Like, yeah, y'all should definitely go ahead and get them niggas. Like, go ahead. Like, go ahead.
I can't really say. I don't really like to assume, but like you said, like if it's one of them like you say, they don't really probably like Chicago anyway, and it's always like if it's an opportunity to bring them down,
they're gonna bring them down.
They not defending them like, no, don't do it. Like, they not stopping them.
Yeah, they're not just like
me. I'm the type of person that stop you. I don't care where you from, especially if it's gonna jeopardize what the kids got going on. If that's the case, they should have just suspended the coach and let the kids play. Man. And if y'all want to like put strict rules on them going forward or whatever, an extra hour on them, that's cool. But you can't do the kids.
I thought they had suspended Mike Irvin at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but it was for something that's very similar. So they had a kid from another state come and play with their summer, their summer league team.
And I kind of feel like that's kind of janky too. I don't know the rules of that, but it's like the head coach not even coaching in summer league. It's not even organized. But it's not even organized. It's not a regulated IHSA game.
Nope.
In some sense, they are.
I don't know the rules.
The summer league got like sanctioned live
they got sanctioned live events. So in some cases, they are sanctioned by the IHSA. Like there is a little less. So to your point, there is a little less hands offness. But when they are implementing the NCAA live period into that, then the IHSA ain't just gonna not have nothing to do with that. And so he did get suspended for that.
Like, what he gained for having that kid play? Like, what's the purpose of suspending for having a kid play on the team? Like, it was no championship involved, no stipend, no bonus, nothing. What do you get for that?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
In that sense,
ain't no purpose of suspending.
It wasn't like he had something to gain from him playing.
In that situation, I guess, is more about the not just the optics, but also about we have to make an example. Like, we can't just have Mike Irvin just doing whatever he wants, even though we all know Mike Irvin's going to do whatever he wants. But we can't just have him doing whatever he wants. If he wanted to just go get a player from another state just to come over and play summer ball, then every coach can do that every summer.
If I'm in charge, I don't care. That's on you. If you want to bring this kid over here who not going to be on your team for real, that's on you to mess up your playing opportunity for your players. I don't really. That's up to you. I don't got nothing to do with that.
But that's the state of Illinois. They gotta
Maybe I don't
enforce
care about,
rules.
I don't care too much about.
They don't. They ruly, man. They want to live. They want to.
I don't think no state will allow that. Like as far as just so, I don't think no school from the governing body in Pennsylvania is the PIAA, right? Pennsylvania Interscholastic something or another. I don't think no Philadelphia or Pennsylvania school, the PIAA, will allow them just to come and pluck a kid. Like say one of the best schools basketball wise in Philadelphia is Newman Goretti, right, which is a Catholic school, or you got Emotep, right, which is where Amon Newell went. They're not gonna just come and bring Bryce Hurd over there for their summer league team. Like the PIAA wouldn't allow that.
What if he was playing on transfer and moved to Philly and that was?
I mean, in that case, then maybe.
That's what I thought the case was like at first, but
I mean,
I thought he was coming.
Yeah, so that's what it was supposed to be. So and who knows? So when you look back on the grand scheme of things, so he went through all of that, did all of that, and the kid didn't even come. So you kind of put yourself in the bullseye projection, and the kid didn't even come. So was it even worth it in the long run? Like, you were probably going to take a hit for doing it anyway, and then you took a hit for doing it, and then the kid didn't even end up at Kenwood. Was it worth it in the end?
They got a mixtape out of it, right?
So I
guess it was like, and like me. I mean,
where was he from? Minnesota or something like that?
Wisconsin.
I
mean, the kid is who he is. He good. So it's like. But it's like college coaches that they get to see him. So if I gotta get suspended one game for the coaches to see this player,
all right, fair enough.
Oh well, yeah.
I mean, that's why I say I don't really be caring about that type of
fair
stuff.
Enough. All right. Is there anyone that you guys have seen that, as far as a player go, that you witnessed them give buckets to somebody? So I want you to name a player who gave buckets to a player.
Ooh, that's we don't really do that.
Why not?
It's a
What you
name
mean?
drop.
Like gave somebody like he
so like
I can't really say gave one person bucket. I could say he probably gave a team buckets.
Who's that?
Let me see.
Because I usually ask the kids and they say, I'm like, I'll say who was barbecue chicken for you? Who you give buckets to? And they've name dropped the kids. They've name dropped, and it's a fun little thing for them to do.
Yeah, I know what you talking about. I see.
What player you seen like score the most points on somebody? Like they was just going crazy.
Oh man, who was scoring a lot? Let's see, the highest scoring games. Who went for a lot of points? My boy Davion went for 30.
Oh yeah, I was at that game at Lincoln.
Yeah.
And he did it twice. He had 2 30-point games. Yeah. Davion is tough, bro. I like the way he played. He's very under control. Either one of y'all see Jackson Davis play this season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I caught the tail end of a game when they were at the Classic, right?
Yeah.
The Classic. Yeah. And I like his game as well. But I love Davion's game.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, that was gonna be the answer to the question. You said like who coming up, like Jackson, Devin from Kenwood, and David.
Oh yeah, Dev. Yep, straight up. Yep. John. Y'all definitely mentioned John.
But Reds, it was good to see Reds getting out North on buckets like that because I feel like they kind of like played them man up. Other teams used to like double team him, but they weren't really double teaming like that, so he kind of got off on them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Reds at the next level, like play actual real basketball in the sense that. Like, because this year was just a big double team, triple team fest. It wasn't, he never got to play, other than that one Niles game, it sounded like he never got to just play somebody man up.
And it's and think about not just the Big Ten, but just college in general, the spacing. He'll have more space to operate.
Yeah.
You know, obviously when he get up there, they'll work on his footwork. They'll work on other shots that he can get around the basket, maybe stepping out because the big man game has expanded a lot from that just down in the post. I'm definitely looking forward to that too. And I'm looking forward to seeing what some of these Illinois guys who have jumped in the portal. I'm very interested to see where they all going to end up. You know, Dante, Robbie. You talked about AJ. Who else is in the portal? Q. Yeah, I talked to his dad the other day. Yeah, I'm interested.
What
to see
day they get a South of 71 points last year? They scored
Oh
71.
yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of them guys. I'm definitely interested to see.
I'm interested to see what Ahmad Henderson gonna do.
Ahmad too.
With Carlo, with Los.
Down at UIC.
I forgot about Los.
So is that the starting backcourt for UIC next year?
Who else is already there?
I don't think they was that good.
They wasn't that good.
Yeah, I was kind of like questioning him going to Amar going to UIC. I forgot Los was going there though.
But they just got a new coach too. UIC did.
Yeah,
And I'm interested to see how Chris gonna do up at the Paul. You know how that coach that came in there, Chris Holtman. I want to see how he is planning to turn that team around because a couple of those guys left. Trying to get some I guess some better opportunities. While you talked about the NBA and its jankiness and as it comes to your betting, but do you have an all-time NBA team? 5 starters, 1 6-man, all time. This is your list, so it can be positionless.
Okay, let's see. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James is everybody's top 3. And then
pretty much.
And then from there do you want to ask somebody like Steph Curry or do you want to ask somebody like Shaq in his prime or do you want to? I don't know. It's like I got a list of players, man. All of the greats, man. I can't just say, it's hard to just put them in 5 like that. For me. But them 3 for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you? Who?
Allen Iverson.
That's what I'm talking about.
Kobe.
Okay.
T-Mac.
Okay.
LeBron.
Okay.
Shaq.
That's 5. Who your 6-man?
6-man. It's I can pick anybody for 6. I'd rather pick somebody like I'm gonna go with Anthony Edwards, man, just cause I like him.
Oh, new blood. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the first.
Bring some youth in there.
He's definitely a first.
He still has to prove himself.
He do, but
I know what you're saying.
I could take anybody at this point.
Right. With your starting 5. No, I feel you. Mine's is AI 2, Kobe, MJ, LeBron, Hakeem, and my 6-man is Jamal Crawford.
Oh.
I was gonna say Jamal.
Yeah.
I didn't wanna, pick the obvious.
Pick the obvious 6-man, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't go wrong with him or Lou Williams. Like those are the two. Or if you want to go old school, you can go. What's the guy name from Detroit, the Pistons? Vinny Aguirre.
Del Negro?
No,
not Del Negro. The microwave. Was it?
Vinny Baker?
Not Vin Baker. Vinny Aguirre or Mark. No,
Mark.
not Mark. No, that's Mark Aguirre.
Mark Aguirre.
Vinny. Damn, what was Vinny's name?
Too old for me. That's the
He was like the pinnacle. You can go Ginobili. I mean, you can go anywhere with that 6-man, like you said. Both you guys have mentioned that you already have children. So my question to you, I ask all of my guests, just thinking about your kids and your family. In my religion of Islam, we believe that our children pick us as our parents. So hearing that, what does it mean to you knowing that your child picked you to be their father? And just talk about your family and what fatherhood means to you.
Oh, for me, just I got my daughter and I got nieces and nephews. So for me, it's just being a walking example of greatness for them to see and to have that positive male experience in their life. That's what I do it for, to give them a good childhood, and enjoy that childhood.
Okay.
Yeah, fatherhood just, it's exciting. It's trying sometimes, they kids, so they ain't gonna move as quick as you want them to. But I got a boy, so it's kind of different for me. So it's like a little me, and I get to like bring him up and try to teach him the right way.
Yeah, my 6-year-old is definitely a little me. Xavier, growing up, wasn't too much like me. He was more like his mom. Kind of very like internal with a lot of his stuff. He's actually just now getting more comfortable with his voice with me specifically. But I just remember distinctly when he was born, and even throughout some of his childhood in Philly, like. I was ripping and running the streets a lot. And so, like, he spent a good portion of his time, with his mom. So their relationship is just completely different. But now as he's getting a little older and a little more mature, I have noticed that when he comes home from school, he's very, confident in when he addresses me, the way he talked to me, the way he look at me. He's real direct, if you will.
It's like a man-to-man.
It's like a man-to-man, and I enjoy it. I've been looking forward to that transition from the time he went to school. But even around 16, 17, I've been paying close attention to like when that moment is going to happen. And now when he comes home, from school, each time he comes home from school, I notice that he's very he's very purposeful in his conversations with me. Like even throughout the week or throughout whatever, he'll call me. Like I noticed that, he first started calling me at the beginning of the school year, right around, he went about late August, early September. So right around late September, early October when they started workouts, and he still was kind of recovering from his surgery. He would call me, and it kind of like threw me off because he would call me and just kind of vent at the experience that he was having up there. Like he didn't feel like he was a part of the team. He felt like his injury was, kind of hindering him and what the people thought about him. And so some of the stuff that he was confiding to me, it like threw me off. Like, oh shit, I'm not used to having these conversations with you. So I had to immediately adjust to that. But now he comes home and he's like, yeah, dad this, dad that. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it's like, all right, cool. So, he's 19. He'll be, 20 in October. So, no, that's pretty dope. I know you guys, kind of know about our platform. I mean, I always ask everybody, like, what's your overall thoughts on the Xposure Runs platform and, what we've been able to do with where we've grown from. I know I'm pretty certain I remember you knew, like, when I first started in 2020 when we had Modest and all of them down at my wife's school. So I'm just curious to know what your thoughts is on the growth of the platform overall.
Coming along. What is this number interview? How many interviews does this make it right here?
50. Ooh, wait, 5?
It's gotta be, it's like 55, 56.
Yeah.
I'm close to 6.
Yeah, and then you add in like the game interviews and all the games. It's like, it's like a lot of work. It's a nice body of work.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate that. Definitely. I definitely wanted to make sure that when we set out to have the platform, like, just give homage to the content creators. Like I said, me and Bo, it was very important to us to have the both of you up here individually, but like it worked out even better to have you both up here. And I definitely appreciate y'all making some time to come. I was actually a little bit nervous about this interview. One of the only ones that I've been nervous about, and it's always hard to like kind of gauge. And I usually don't really care too much about people's acceptance of me, but it's always kind of hard to gauge because you guys have been doing it for a long time, and I never wanted to look like that. I personally don't appreciate what y'all have contributed to this, not just my platform, but just basketball as a whole in this state. You guys are really important, and I don't know how much y'all know or even take in as far as like the importance that you guys are for the culture, but y'all are. Like when you think about Chicago basketball, like you have to think about, Young Ballerz TV, and you have to think about Hoop Vibez and, some of these other people that are coming up and, kind of like piggybacking off of y'all, but, y'all kind of sit at the pinnacle of that throne. So like I wanted to make sure that y'all heard me say that to y'all faces. Like I don't want y'all to hear that like, well, Moose said that y'all can hear that shit straight from me. Like from the source. So you guys are definitely top notch. So I really appreciate that. That's all the questions that I got for you guys. So like I do appreciate you coming up here. I hope you had a good time. I had a good time talking to you, gentlemen. Before we go, I definitely want to give our shout outs. First I want to give a shout out to my, both my children, Xavier and Ziggy. Give a shout out to my guy Tyree, Derek Ellison, our sponsors, Anthony and Grant Leach, who will be here tomorrow. Friday, what's tomorrow's date?
The 13th.
Is it the 13th? Is today the 12th?
No,
tomorrow's the 12th. Right. I'm about to say, dang, tomorrow's Friday the 13th? So they're going to be here tomorrow. I always say tomorrow, then the video don't come out, and tomorrow could be weeks prior or weeks right. So they'll be here Friday, April the 12th. So when this video comes out, like it'll be probably like a day or so after the fact. So. And of course, just recently we had our Unsigned Senior Showcase. I'm still getting a lot of not just content back, which has been a lot. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. I can't even keep up with a lot of this shit. But also too, I'm getting hit up by a lot of coaches that was there and a lot of coaches who wasn't there. Like obviously, it must have got back to them that how good the event was. So a coach hit me up yesterday and asked about Tyler that used to go to Kenwood. And he's trying to get Tyler to come to a school. So
that's nice.
Tyler's doing good. Where he at?
Yeah, he is. He just got his release from that school though. He had a JUCO as well. So this coach is like super thirsty to get him in a positive way. Yeah. So that's pretty dope. So that's it. And of course I want to give a shout out to my guy Bo.
I was gonna say nothing about it.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I definitely gotta give you a shout out, my brother.
I'm trying to think if we missed anybody.
No, I don't think we did. No,
we didn't. All right.
I got everybody. Derek, Anthony and Grant, Tyree, you. My children.
Yeah.
And just for shits and giggles, let's go ahead and give a shout out to Barry Bradford. You know, why
All
not?
right, fuck it.
Fuck it, why not?
Shout out.
Shout out to Barry.
Shout out Example Sports.
Yeah,
Shout out
Example
to
Sports.
them.
They just won a
Shout out
national
to them.
championship on the grind session.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
shout out to them. That's it. We'll see you guys on the next episode.